歡迎收睇我哋嘅三藩市市長選舉候選人訪問。Sitting next to me is London, our mayor candidate and the president of the board. Thank you for joining us here today, President Britt.
Thank you.
And among all these places, you picked this location. So can you tell some story between you and this place?
So right now, this is Uncle Benny's, and before it was Happy Donuts, but before that, it was Winchell's. And it was a donut place that was well known throughout San Francisco. And we used to hang out here. This was like one of the few places where teenagers sometimes could just hang and be loud. And a lot of my friends lived in this neighborhood. We went to Galileo High School. And sometimes we just get together. And this was one of those places. So it has like fond memories.
Wow. You tell us a lot about the experience, how you grow up and how you're raised. Can you share with our audience of that?
Yeah, I talk about my experience of growing up in San Francisco. I was born and raised here. And my grandmother, she raised me in public housing in the Western Addition. It was a very challenging time, a lot of violence, a lot of frustration, a lot of poverty, and I was really fortunate. I went to public schools. I graduated from UC Davis, and I'm really proud that I grew up in the community because a lot of people supported me. They encouraged me to go to school, and they looked out for me. And when I finished college and got my undergraduate degree, I felt it was my responsibility to give back to the community.
When you filed for the running, you brought a group of girls, little girls, and you said you want to be their inspiration. So what is your inspiration of being a politics?
So my inspiration is when there's a senior who can't get housing and I'm able to help them get housing. There was one senior in my district, I helped him fill out the application and we got him housed. And we're developing great relationships between the police officers and the community, and we're working together. Or when I'm able to help someone get a job, or when I'm able to help someone keep their housing. So the things that I'm able to do in a position like this is what inspires me. And I never thought that I'd ever be in politics. I didn't know I could be on the board of supervisors when I was young. I never thought I'd even be running for mayor. It's why I brought those little girls with me, because I wanted them to know that they can do anything that they want to do. If they just focus on school, if they do the right thing and they work with people.
You're not only running for mayor, actually you're the acting mayor before. So is that experience help you better understand the role of mayor?
So as a member of the board of supervisors, it's so different because you're fighting for your district. And I would always meet with the mayor, Mayor Lee, all the time, and I'd go in there and I'd advocate for what I wanted. And then sadly, when we lost the mayor, you know, it was not only sad, you know, for me and our city. I know it was sad for his family, who I just adore. And it was really hard. I felt like I didn't want to let him down. I didn't want to let the people of San Francisco down. And so it's a different feeling. You see a pothole and you feel responsible. You want to get that fixed. You see the tents. You want to get those tents off the streets. You know, you look around a commercial corridor like where we are today, and you want more police officers walking the beats. I see so many seniors walking in this community every time I come to this neighborhood.
You mentioned so many crisis problems in the city. If you're elected, what will be your first priority to deal with?
If I'm elected, one of the first things I plan to do is get those tent encampments cleared and get people an option for housing and for services, and we won't take no for an answer. And we got to get tougher about how we address issues around tent encampments. They're a public health issue and they're a public safety issue. So within the first year of office, I plan to tackle that. I also plan to focus on getting 200 new police officers on our streets in our commercial corridors by the end of 2019. And that's going to take money. It's going to take a lot of resources and the will to get it done. We got to get going on many of these initiatives simultaneously if we're going to address some of the challenges that we see in our city.
Your experience as the supervisor and the president of the board and the acting mayor before, so is all this experience help you for forming the policy, future policy?
Well, I have a master's in public administration. I served on the Redevelopment Agency Commission. I've served on the Fire Commission. I've run a nonprofit arts organization for 10 years. I've raised millions of dollars for that organization. I've worked in the community. Along with my other experiences, I think it's very diverse experience that helps prepare me for this particular job at this time now, because part of what I've been able to do throughout my career is solutions to our most challenging problems. For example, the center that I was the director for, it was falling apart. It was almost lost to the community. I helped to not only save it, but I raised millions of dollars to renovate it. And now it's like a beacon of hope for the community. And not only do I have the experience through my education and through the work that I've done, but I'm really one of the only candidates who actually grew up in poverty in this city, who actually went to public schools in San Francisco. It gives me a unique perspective to understand the challenges that we're dealing with and how to make, I believe, better decisions to address those challenges.
So among all the candidates, what do you think you shine out or different from other candidates?
Oh God, so many things. I think part of it is being willing to take risk, like being able to move forward with policy things that are controversial, but don't always sit well. I mean, I feel strongly that we need more police officers, but we also need to make sure there's a good relationship between the police department and the community. I know that these are challenging issues and it's easier said than done, but I will tell you the one thing about me is I'm willing to take risk, even sometimes when they're not popular, even proposing things that sometimes people don't necessarily agree with. I say, let's give it a try. Let's give a new system a try for the purposes of trying to make sure that it works for the people of San Francisco, because we're a beautiful city. We're an amazing city, just made beautiful by our buildings and our monuments. We're made beautiful because of the people. And as a mayor, it is your responsibility to take care of the people, to address the needs of the people. My goal is to make sure the money, the resources, the policies actually work for everyday people in San Francisco. And so I am most proud of, finding and identifying 179 empty public housing units. And the mayor worked with me and we came up with $2 million to renovate those public housing units. And we placed 179 formerly homeless families in those units. No one even thought that that was possible. We can't build 179 units for $2 million in San Francisco. Not always policy, but coming up with creative solutions to address some of these challenges that no one else is thinking of.
Besides of yourself, who will you vote for in this campaign? And why?
Yeah, that's been tough. Let me just say this. It's been hard for me to decide on who to vote for. I'm really thinking about it and trying to meet with some of the other candidates before I make a decision like that. I mean, like a lot of voters, I'm very undecided. I'm excited that there's a possibility that a woman could be mayor in San Francisco. So I am really looking forward to supporting women who are running for office now. I haven't specifically made my decision yet on who that might be, but I'm hopefully going to be meeting and having conversations with the candidates to make a decision. But my hope is I come in number one, so it won't make a difference.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about your policy of the education?
So I wouldn't be here if it weren't for our public school system. And as one of the only candidates who actually went to public schools in San Francisco, it was so important for me to produce an education platform. I think I'm the only candidate who actually put an education platform out. One that is going to make sure that our kids have the appropriate support that they need in our public schools, and making sure that they're prepared for tomorrow's job opportunities. We have a large healthcare industry. We have a large tech industry. We have incredible opportunities in San Francisco. We have got to make the connections between these industries and our kids who are in school today, so that our kids, when they grow up in San Francisco, they have these opportunities to grow and thrive and to take care of themselves and educate the next generation. And hopefully they can stay in San Francisco. So many of my friends who grew up here, they don't live here anymore. And we have got to do a better job of making sure that there is a link between education and opportunity in San Francisco. And I plan to put it at the forefront of my platform. I want to do something, for example, when I was 14, I had one of my first jobs working for the Mayor's Youth Employment and Training Program. That not only kept me focused on school, it kept me out of a lot of trouble. And I want to make sure that all of the companies in San Francisco provide a paid internship for our high school students so that there is a connection. So they would start at a company, for example, in 9th, and they would work through 10th, 11th, 12th grade, making a real connection between their education and what they're learning in school and an actual job opportunity so that they can know whether or not this is an industry they're interested in. That is really what it's about, whether it's vocational or any other training that adds to their curriculum. I want to make the connection, and this is what my focus will be as mayor.
Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you.